What's up, guys? It's your boy Mark. Welcome back to the channel. I'm over here at Entice Motorsports where the Supra is. This is the Supra SEMA series. Just kidding, SEMA's fucking over already. Hopefully you guys, whoever went, enjoyed it. There's a lot of cool cars there. I didn't end up actually going, Ron did, but there was a lot of cool cars that I saw. Some I'm getting some inspiration from, but whatever. Fuck SEMA and fuck all the cars there. So let me talk to you guys about what's going on here with the Supra, some updates going on right now. First things first, I want to talk about the rear fitment, about these wheels with these brakes. Now, what's happening is it's basically hitting over here, okay? And what I really wanted to do was trim this down about maybe 5-10 millimeter. We got the diagram chart from APG. It looks like there is room here. The problem is there's a giant bolt or something that's holding this and it ends right here. So I don't want to ruin this. So I'm just going to run a spacer. There's already a 10 mil on here. Probably going to add another 2 on it, maybe 12, 13 mil, and call it a fucking day. I'll run these wheels. I'll have another spare set of new different style wheels without requiring spacers. That's the best I'm going to be able to do because I want to run these big brakes. So that's that update. Secondary update here. What I want to show you guys is the catch can setup, what it's going to look like. And this is basically it. Like I was mentioning before, it's a half catch can and half water reservoir. This is the water reservoir side. I'm assuming this is the catch can. It's baffled, filtered, looks fucking sick. We're obviously gonna put it right here. Yeah, it's gonna kind of look like that. You know what I mean? It looks pretty sick. It's all the whole aluminum vibe, the whole aluminum finish. Just looks really, really, really cool. That's probably the best place to put it. Let me know what you guys think. Vibrant cap, which is really cool. So they did a really, really cool job with that. It's just a prototype, but it's gonna get buttoned up and it's gonna look really, really nice. This is the actual over here. As you guys know, John is a perfectionist. There was one thing he didn't like about that one, so he's fucking scratching the whole thing, making a brand new one. So, you know, it is what it is.
And everything inside.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I really like it. But one of the main reasons why I came down here is so that I can help decide the placement of the oil cooler and the transmission cooler. Obviously, I know I want it in the front bumper, but there's obviously some other options here. Let me kind of show you. Maybe you guys can help me decide. I think I made my decision, but we can decide together. So John's preference would be to mount it like this. To mount it like this, just like that, kind of OEM style. Obviously, some ducting would be created there. Do it that way. There's another way you can mount it down here, kind of at an angle, kind of like that. Have some ducting, some scoops, and whatever. And then obviously, my preference would be to mount it front and center, just like that. In fact, it would kind of go like right around here somewhere. And that's basically my preference. Even on this side as well, you can already see it's kind of like that. And you'll kind of get a look. I think this is probably the coolest way. It's actually the most functional in terms of airflow. It's just John's a little bit more discreet when it comes to certain things. I'm definitely not. And you guys let me know if you guys like it this way. Obviously, I don't think there'd be ducting needed in the front like this, like front and center. But obviously, the end tanks is going to be done in a certain way where it's going to make all sense. You can still see the vibrant here, some of the welding. And then you can kind of get rid of the boring part of the pipe, which is still amazing, but it's kind of boring. And it also does fill up this area really, really well, which is, you know, what I really, really want to do since I got rid of the whole OEM, the guards and the honeycomb shit and all that stuff. So I really think it kind of makes sense. Plus, it's really aggressive. I mean, I'm looking at this right now with you guys, and it just looks fucking crazy. It looks like a super race car, like a fucking NASCAR driver or some shit. So I don't know, it looks pretty sick. So you guys tell me what you guys think. Obviously these are just the cores, but as you guys saw them build the intercooler, it's going to be the same concept with the end tank and all this other shit. It could be different end tank. It could be different because it doesn't have to be super crazy like this. It could be, actually, it'll be however it is. I don't know. It might be the same way. John, you think the end tanks are going to be kind of similar to the intercooler here? You think the end tanks are going to be like similar to the intercooler, kind of how it looks like this?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it's going to be similar.
Okay.
Similar shape. we always try to have the entries on the center.
Yeah.
And then taper off.
Okay.
So everything distributes evenly.
Okay. Like, can it be like a nice little like a little tit, like a nice little tit, and then there could be the nipple or not?
Whatever you want it to be, bro. We'll make it look like anything you want it to look
Okay. Be cool because you get a tit there and a tit there, and you can fucking you can do a bunch of shit.
Did you guys go over the different angles?
Yeah. I mentioned your preference.
You can also put it slanted, like facing down.
Yeah, but then it would be too slanted, right? It would be more like
So it would
it
be
would kind of be like this.
so
That looks kind of cool.
It would be like this. I don't think it would look bad.
Nah, bro, front and center in your face. Like, look at that. I was just telling Chris, it looks like for sure I'm like in NASCAR. Like, if I do this, I'm NASCAR driver, right? Basically.
Grand Prix?
Yeah.
You gonna wear the suit for racing?
The whole fucking nine. The flame retardant, all that shit. It looks crazy.
Yeah, I think.
And people will be like, oh my God, you have 3 turbos or whatever. You know, people won't really. It'd be kind of cool.
People ask that.
Yeah. It's one intercooler for each turbo.
I don't like that it's so far down. I like that I would say center it. Not all the way to the bottom.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's a little bit better. But personally, me, I put it in the back.
I know. But I'm going to be honest, the front and center looks really cool. Maybe not like what you're saying, maybe not like directly on here, maybe up more. Just, if you're trying to match the center of the end tank to this, maybe like some symmetry wise, but to be honest, I don't care. Like it's going to look cool regardless. But you guys tell me what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys would do it front and center. Would you guys do it, the way that John's suggesting it or angled a different way? Remember, I don't want to put honeycomb and grills and shit like that to cover all this stuff up. I do not want to do that. I want it, well, I may have to, but I prefer not to because I want to show all the craftsmanship, all the work, all this shit. So that's my preference.
So I think like this, because remember, this will be cut even because you guys cut, this is forward, this is further back.
That would look kind of cool too.
So if it's there,
because you can still see it. It's right there. It's taking up this eyesore of a spot here.
Right. So if I put it here, it's not gonna sit way back here.
Yeah.
It would sit more like on the side of it. Because obviously I'm gonna trim this, so it's gonna allow it to come forward a bit. So it'll sit more like here, and I can do an air duct that kind of comes out like this, kind of like a tapering. It kind of comes this way, up to here. So it'll come, and it's gonna turn it.
I see.
Right.
So I didn't take into consideration the possibility of the air duct kind of being kind of visible here too, to make it look more
a little more filled.
like filled up.
So it'll have an air duct that obviously is gonna be from the top out, and then it'll taper this way, right? It'll follow the shape of the pipe.
Huh.
So it's gonna, I would start it right around here. It'll kick in. The bottom will come out a little bit. And that'll be it.
From back here.
Obviously, it's gonna be a little more forward.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, this is a direct comparison, guys. You can see that actually looks kind of cool now that I'm picturing it. Now that I'm picturing it, how you're saying, John, with the air duct, it might look cooler.
It's gonna start here, so it's gonna look like it's all the way here. Right? I don't know. I think either way, it'll look fine. It's more of a preference thing at that.
But we have to decide now, right?
No, I mean, because now you're getting an idea of it. I take a couple pictures, sleep on it, kind of go over it, and then decide what you really want. Because remember, I wouldn't just make a decision right now. If you make a decision right now, just fuck it, I want that, or I want this.
Well, I do want to let a chance for the guys to kind of comment too, because I really want to take into consideration what you guys think too. But you were saying it's not good to make a decision now because you want to rush into it.
Tanks and all that, it's done. You know, I mean, we'll have to redo everything.
That looks almost equally aggressive as doing something like, I mean, it's really hard for me to picture. For some reason, I can picture it finished in that position. I can't picture it finished in this position at the moment. I can't. I don't know how the end tank's going to work out. I'm sure it's going to
can-
be nice, but it's hard for me to picture it.
I can make the intake, because remember, there's 2 ways to make the intake. One, we make the inlet and outlet on the same side.
But you already
So
we
one-
already went over that, how
Yeah.
that's not the optimal way.
It's not. It'll still work. I prefer to do single.
Yeah,
So you'll have a line here as well. So keep that in mind. Right?
that's right.
If we do that,
The lines are hidden.
both lines have to be on the same side. So for instance, if this is sitting like this, it could be either or. It could be, you can have the lines on the bottom or the top, because it's pressurized anyway. So
Why do you suggest both? Why are you saying both lines have to be on the same side if it's vertical?
because you have a bar here that won't allow a fitting to go to the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's another thing to consider, guys, because visually speaking, all I'm thinking is this end tank, it's done. But visually, you're going to have a line go through there. It's not going to be hard. It's going to be like a normal fucking line.
It's going to be the AN fittings.
The AN fitting, but still it's going to be stuff coming out of there that may visually make it look better or worse, depending on how you look at it. So that's also something to consider.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if we did do it this way, you can also put both lines on this side. Yeah. It's still not again, it's not the way I prefer to do it. It still works. I prefer to do center.
If you were to do it here, would it make sense to go more in, like in there, but then more of an angle, or is it better to have it as straight as possible for aesthetically speaking?
The straighter, the better, because air's gonna hit it directly.
Okay.
At an angle, air's still gonna go in, but it has to fight.
Okay, so you basically kind of want to make it like this.
It's not necessarily gonna be straight. It's gonna be right around that angle.
So the end tank, I mean, how do you envision the end tank being? Well, let's say both come out.
Remember, you guys already trimmed here, right?
Yeah.
You guys already trimmed here, so
Yeah.
all I would have to do is continue that trim all the way down.
So part of it. So what I'm saying is the end tank is gonna just be like here, just out.
Yeah, so it comes out
Right.
an inch, right? It comes out about an inch or a half inch, and then it tapers out about another inch.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a small tank. It's not a massive.
Man, it's really hard because like one part of me feels like it would look fucking crazy with the end tanks and right front and center. The other part of me is like, okay, this is like, it'll look more race car-y style with the duct.
Because if you really think about it, when I started doing the racing, we used to do drag racing, and the least of our worries was what people thought about the way it looked. If it was more functional, if you were getting optimal performance out of something that looked ugly, it didn't matter, because people are fighting to win, not to look cool.
Of course.
Right? And the thing with drag racing is, if your car can make 1,000 horsepower, you're gonna push it to make 1,050, right? You're gonna push it to make 1,100.
That's
so
true.
you're always pushing that extra little bit. When it comes to show cars, everybody's more worried about looks and stuff like that, which is great.
But what do you do when both styles we're talking about, both options are equally as good performance-wise?
Then it comes down to preference, right? Because
Yeah.
I think you should pick what you like, not what I like, because essentially it's you driving it, it's your build. And the one thing I've had is, in the past, when I was younger, I used to have people tell me like, oh no, we need to do this way, we need to do that way. And I'd sit there regretting that decision for months on end until I'm like, fuck that, I'm redoing it.
Here's the good news. The good news is both styles, in my opinion, look good, and I can see both of them looking good. So, for the sake of you guys, I need some help deciding as to why. I will try to envision most of this. I try to sleep on it. I'm not really sure. Is this something that you can maybe make the end tanks for first, or you have to know?
I have to know, because the intakes would be a different design depending on where it's going to sit.
Got it. No, I either like your suggestion, vertical or right front and center. Those are the two options. And to trust me, it's a lot easier to narrow it down to two instead of like, So, okay.
And again, you got to pick essentially what you want, because
Well, here's my question.
There's nothing worse than having a car you're just not happy with it.
Here's my question. So far, everything that's being done on this car, I'm fucking ecstatic over. I'm losing sleep over it because I'm so excited. I can't wait to finish it. But let's say we put it here. If this was where it's going to go, what's your preference for where the lines are going to be? Hidden on this side, out and out of the way without being an eyesore, or both visible here? And then if that's the case, and how it would just be tucked away somewhere, or what?
I don't think the line would look bad, me personally. But then again, I'm one of those people that cares more about it performing than the look of it. I'm used to like the industrial look, hard lines,
Yeah.
A-N fittings. And I think people like those kinds of fittings and stuff like that. I don't think it would look bad, the fitting. But the cool thing about this sitting it here is that you could do inlet outlet, or you could do inlet outlet and just a circulating tank here.
Yeah.
Right? On this side, you don't have much of a choice. It has to be same sided.
Yeah.
Inlet outlet. So it has to circulate.
Which ultimately, I mean, it's really,
works.
it's
just
going to
not-
work.
You're not getting optimal.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sleep on it. I am going to release this episode and see what you guys think, and we'll go from there. So guys, I do need your help. So if you can do me a solid, like the video, first of all, if you did like it. Comment, which is the most important for this specific video, because I want to know what you guys think about the oil cooler, trans cooler placement. And then subscribe to your boy. Subscribe to your boy, please. I would really, really appreciate it. When this car is fucking done, you guys are going to be super happy that you guys saw the progress from start to finish, at least the version 2. You're going to be super, super happy. And trust me, I will deliver. And John will deliver. We will all deliver what you guys want. So thanks for tuning in. Much love. Catch you on the next one. Peace.